Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we're going to be going over the top 10 to 13, almost said 10 but it's 13, winter cars that you can find for under $3,000. It's getting to that time of year. Santa's calling, he's making his elves do overtime work. It's getting crazy out there, so it's time to go over the winter cars for you winter folks. I'm a winter folk, okay? I live in Connecticut, so we got winter up here, and I see all these cars driving around all the time because people don't take risks anymore. So I got all the options for you, buddy. The song of the day is the 24 karat golden Coco. This song came out like last year during the summer, but it was like the song of the summer for me last year, buddy, and I'm still listening to it this summer, even though this is a winter video. It kind of doesn't make any sense, but it's still a good song. Go listen to it if you like rap. Honestly, even if you like pop music, like hip hop, pop, and like the trendy stuff, you would probably like this too. It's really upbeat and not really filled with like rap music. So go check it out if you like that kind of stuff. But without further ado, let's get right into the list with number 13. All right, so coming in at 13th is going to the 7th generation Honda Civic. That's right, the 7th gen Civic. Yeah, it's pretty good for the winter folks. Now, honestly, the Civic is just good in general. That's kind of why I put it here. Most of these cars are going to have all-wheel drive, but as we all know, Civics don't have all-wheel drive. So you might be like, well, why is this here? It's a Civic, man. It's good no matter what. It comes with a 1.7 liter inline 4, making 115 horsepower, and it is obviously front-wheel drive. Again, if you want something that's like fun to drive too, it's not a bad option there either. Now, people do say that the 7th gen Civic is one of the least fun vehicles from the Civic family, but it's still a fun one. And again, you tune the motor, make some good power out of it. It's a blast. Coming in at the number 12 location is the Audi A6 C6. I think this is not the last time we're going to be seeing Audi on the... No, it's not yet. Not the last time we're seeing Audi on this list, buddy. We're talking about a winter cars list here, okay? Do you know anything about winter? Well, let me tell you one thing. It has snow in it, okay? All right, and you know what's good for snow? All-wheel drive. You know who are the kings of all-wheel drive? Audi. This car comes with a 3.2 liter V6, making 255 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. I feel like everybody sleeps on any Audi that isn't an S4. They have really, really good cars, man. Even like the base model A6 C6, it's a very good car. A 3.2 liter V6, making 255 horsepower. Is very good. Like, that's a pretty damn good package, and it's all-wheel drive. It's also really large. You can carry your friends around in it. It's not a race car, it's a luxury car, but it's still pretty good. Coming in at the number 11 spot, you may be thinking to yourself, well, Mark, if you're driving into winter, aren't you going to want to be high off the ground? That's right, Chevy Silverado 1500 Cat Eye. Whoever said that, you're a smart man. You want to do these videos instead of me? I feel like you should. This is any Silverado, any Ford F-150, any Dodge Ram, any truck is pretty good for winter areas. I picked this one because I like it. It comes with a 5.3 liter V8, making 285 horsepower, and it is 4x4. I think the reason why I like Chevy trucks a little bit better than I like Dodge and Ford trucks is because their 1500s look like their 2500s, and so they still look like manly and cool. Ford's F-150s and Dodge Rams 1500s all look like not as cool, you know, they're not like as manly. So I put this one here instead. But again, any truck is pretty damn good for it. Coming in at 10th place, however, is going to another king of the all-wheel drive world, Subaru Forester SF. We've talked about this car millions of times before, and I'm not going to stop talking about it. Until the day that the Forester SF is over $3,000, it's going to be in my videos, because it's just that damn good, okay? They come with a 2.5 liter flat 4, making 165 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. Most Subarus are all-wheel drive. To be honest with you, if you find any Subaru under 3K and you're looking for a winter car, it's probably a good idea to buy that. The only thing is, you know, they are a flat, horizontally opposed motor, and so they do tend to have some head gasket issues, but they're a good car nonetheless. All-wheel drive, tons of space, looks pretty decent once modified. I mean, yeah, stock, they look like a grandma's car, but modify them, they look pretty decent. They're not really fast, but that's not what you're looking for in a winter car. Coming in at 9th place is going to go to a little bit of an oddball. You guys might be like, what is Mark talking about? The BMW 328xi E90. This is, yes, I get it. It's a BMW, and, you know, everybody thinks that BMWs are unreliable, and they can be unreliable, but I think it's still a really, really good option for under $3,000 right about now. They come with a 3 liter inline 6, making 240 horsepower, and they are all-wheel drive. That's kind of what the whole XI part of it means. If you don't want the all-wheel drive version, you can get the rear-wheel drive one, which doesn't have the X in it. But either way, the E90 is just such an underrated platform right now. It's kind of in that BMW area where like nobody really wants to buy them, so they're dirt cheap. But then in a couple of years, people are going to start to realize the potential that they have, and so then they're going to start flying up in price. Get them now. while you still can. I mean, these cars are still relatively new. I mean, like 2009, and they're running for under $3,000. That's a really good deal. Coming in at the number 8 spot is a car that I actually don't think I've ever talked about before in my list. The Volvo S70 all-wheel drive. This is the all-wheel drive is part of the name, by the way. You can get the S70 normal, which I think is front-wheel drive, or maybe even rear-wheel drive. I'm not sure, but the all-wheel drive one is like completely different. But yeah, Volvo has always just been a king, you know, of reliability and safety and stuff like that. So that's why I put it here. They come with a 2-liter turbo inline 4, making 226 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. Of course, 226 horsepower in a turbo motor from Volvo, that's probably reliable as hell. It's probably safe as hell. You could probably crash this thing off the Grand Canyon and just walk away like nothing ever. You'd drive away. The car would probably still be running after that. These things are just monsters, or tanks. They aren't the best looking in my opinion. That's why I put it here at number 8, but they are a really good option. Coming in at the number 7 spot is an underappreciated gem. It's a freaking monster. The Honda CR-V first generation. Now you could also find a second generation for under $3,000, and if you want one of those, that's good too. I think the second gen even comes with a K series too, which is really cool. Or that could be the first. I don't know, but one of them comes with a K series, which is awesome. This one comes with a 2-liter inline 4, making 146 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. We've all seen the CR-Vs that make a ton of horsepower, but if you don't want to tune your CR-V to make a bunch of horsepower, they're also an incredible daily driver. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't know the CR-V was a good daily driver. You probably just thought, oh, that's just a race car. Yeah, that's a sports car right there because of all the people that tune them. Nope. They can also be daily drivers. They also are SUV, obviously. They're high off the ground. They have a ton of ground clearance. They have a ton of space. They're reliable as hell because they're a Honda. They're probably really safe to drive. I don't check like safety ratings and stuff like that, but they're probably safe. They're just a good car. Coming in at the number 6 spot is a car that I've recommended 5 million times before, and again, I'm not going to stop doing it. The Infiniti G35, but this time, X. That's right, the X means it's all-wheel drive now. Normal G35s are still a really good option for under 3K, by the way. The rear-wheel drive, you know, sedan G35s, if you want one of those are still really good. But either way, this is a list about winter, so we're talking about the X version. It comes with a 3.5 liter V6 making 287 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. Obviously that's a ton of horsepower. You can get them in manual. They're pretty luxurious for their time. I mean, they're a 2003 car, so at this point they're a little bit outdated, but still really good at their time. They're a sedan, so you got the space. They're all-wheel drive. They're reliable as hell. Don't take my 350Z for an example, though. That thing's not running right now because of a wiring issue. Sad VQ noises. But either way, the G35, awesome option, especially since they make an all-wheel drive one. Coming in at the number 5 spot is, look, you thought, my boy, that I was not going to include a Jeep on a list about winter? What do you think? Who do you think I am? Do you think I'm Mr. Liar's son? Mr. Liar, pants are on fire? Well, my pants are not on fire, buddy. I don't lie. Okay, the Jeep Cherokee XJ is an amazing option for under $3,000 if you're in a winter area. They come with a 4-liter inline 6, making 190 horsepower, and they are 4x4. It's just a 4-liter inline 6, you know, it's just a 6-cylinder. What's so great about that? It's one of the most reliable 6-cylinders of all time, friend. Okay, these things can last for 5 million miles. My friend just sold his, and it was still running. He sold his Jeep Cherokee XJ that had 400,000 miles on the clock. Sold it for like $600 to buy a Subaru Impreza, which I was really upset about. But still, 400,000 miles and it was still running. Like, these cars are unstoppable, and they're a Jeep, so obviously you know that they're good off-road and stuff like that in the winter. Coming in at 4th place, however, is a car that honestly I feel like is really underrated for winter. The Lexus IS250 all-wheel drive. Again, kind of like the Volvo S70 we were talking about earlier. They throw the all-wheel drive into the name, so you kind of have to include it. It kind of gives away the spoil there, or the surprise there that this car is all-wheel drive. But yeah, the IS250 is normally rear-wheel drive, and they make an all-wheel drive model. They come with a 2.5 liter V6 making 204 horsepower, and they are all-wheel drive. They also are pretty decently luxurious and comfortable to drive because they're a Lexus. Now they're also incredibly reliable because they're a Toyota. Everything about them is really good. Obviously it doesn't have as much like ground clearance and stuff like that as some of the other cars, and it doesn't have as much tuning potential as some of the other cars, but I feel like it's just a really good package of everything. It has like some luxury in it. It's got the Toyota reliability. It looks really cool, and it can be fast too. 3rd place, I told y'all boys we weren't done with the Audis. 3rd place is the Audi A4 B7. Of course, there was going to be an A4 in this list somewhere. They're just too good to pass up. Normally, these cars are front-wheel drive actually, which I didn't know, if I'm being honest. I always thought that A4s were always all-wheel drive, but I was wrong. There are some front-wheel drive Audis, but this one is all-wheel drive if you get the Quattro package. It comes with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 170 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive, of course. This is also the same motor that came in the GTI, so you can have some tuning potential out of it if you want. It's a fun little car to tune and make a quick little monster. The fact that it's all-wheel drive, it's just all a good package. You know, it's an Audi that looks good, is lightweight, lighter than the A6. That's why I put it so much higher, so it's more fun to drive. Has a good ground clearance, a decent ground clearance for a sedan, and it just checks all the boxes, just like the IS250 before, but I just like this one a little bit better. Coming in at second place is the mother truckin' Ford Ranger. Of course, you knew it was going to be here. The Ford Ranger's on almost all my lists, even if it doesn't include winter. And when winter is a factor, of course the Ranger's going to be here. It would be a crime to not put the Ranger on this list. There would be a SWAT team jumping through my windows right now to kill me if I didn't put the Ford Ranger on this list. It comes with a 4-liter V6, making 190 horsepower, and it is 4x4. That's a very reliable motor, but not as reliable as some of the other cars we've talked about, like the Cherokee or the Chevy Silverado. There you go. That's another one. I was looking for one on my list to see to rely to, but it is reliable. Just not one of the most reliables, but it doesn't matter because you can find one of these under 3K with like 100,000 miles because there's so many of them. There's millions of Rangers out there, so they're all dirt cheap. Just pick one up and have a blast. But first place, of course, you guys knew first place was going to go to a Subaru. It's the Subaru Impreza 2.5 Blob Eye. I love the Blob Eye the most of all the generations. That's why I put this one here. But you can find a Bug Eye and probably even a Hawk Eye. I didn't look, but for under $3,000 as well. You could probably also find the first generation of the GC. I think it's called the Mean Eye. I don't know. But you can find one of those for under 3K as well. And this one comes with the same motor as the Forester, a 2.5-liter flat 4, making 165 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. So you may be like, well, if the Forester's like number 10 on this list, then how come the Impreza's first? Because it's just a lot cooler, okay? It's a lot cooler, it's a lot lighter as well. It looks more fun. You can make it incredibly beautiful looking, like a WRX type of thing, and wide body it, and just have an absolute blast building this thing. And I think since most of us are car guys watching this video, I think people are going to appreciate that. Yes, the Forester is still really a good option, and it's still really, really cool. And if you want more space, then I would definitely recommend going with that one. But in my opinion, the Impreza for a car guy is the best option for under 3K if you live in the winter areas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 13 best winter cars for less than $3,000. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comments down below, obviously. Also, we're going to be starting up that yearly thing I did. I did it last year. I did it the year before, where I go over 10 cars for every price range that are all completely different, so you get a different price range starting from 25K, or we'll probably start at 50K. So we'll start at 50K, maybe even, you know what, we'll start at 100K. I changed my mind. We're going to start at 100, 50, 25, 20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we'll do all those videos over the course of the next couple of months because it's just pretty much halfway through September now, and so we only have a couple months left of the year, and it kind of just gives a yearly recap of all the car prices, what has changed, what is best under a certain price range, all different cars as well, so that you guys can get a bunch of different options if you have like a budget of 10K, a couple options if you have a budget of 1K, and then a good amount of options if you have a budget of 5K as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.